What is going on, X community? Exostomp here, and today, people, we're going to be going over our ADL draft analysis. So, this team, I mainly wanted to pick up stuff that I haven't used before. I think there's one Pokemon that I've used before on this team in draft, so I'll mention it when we get to it. But yeah, I really wanted to have fun with this team. I just want to say this outright, because some people are a little confused why I pick certain things over other things. So I'll get to them, and when I get to them, I will let you guys know why. But yeah, all right. So let's go on and move to number 1 here. The Pokemon that we have first picked. We were second pick in the draft, so we got a choice, and this is probably the best choice in my opinion. I picked up Dragapult. Now, if you guys don't know, ADL, at least this season, is Galar Dex, so it is only Galar Dex Pokemon, and Dragapult in Galar Dex is extremely scary. Now, you can say, you know, there are Pokemon that came in from DLC 2 that sort of help beat it, and that is true. So I do think that it is an extremely good Pokemon and should be always first picked. You know, I think it's a little bit balanced. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Like I said, I haven't really used Dragapult in draft before, so because it's always freaking picked first. But the person that picked first picked up Galarian Zapdos, so yeah, gave me the chance to use this thing. So we start off with a 142 base speed, which is incredible. And being a ghost and dragon, those are two types that you probably want to have on your team. So starting this off, I was really happy with grabbing Dragapult. I could have grabbed Torn T with Nasty Plot, of course, but I've actually used Torn before in another league, but I wasn't a big fan of it. I know people are gonna call me crazy. I felt like it was boring. I don't know. You guys can hate me, but yeah, it's just, yeah, it was boring in my opinion when I used it, at least. But yeah, all right. So the second pick that we got, we had to wait for, well, since we were second pick, we had to wait for a long time, but we were able to actually get Celesteela. So Celesteela was a pretty crazy Pokemon to get this late in. It was 17 points, and you were not able to grab another 18-point Pokemon, which was Dragapult. So I was like, well, Celesteela is 17, so yeah, I'll grab that. So we could have grabbed Mandy here, Mandibuzz, but I've used Mandibuzz a few times, and I really just didn't want to use it again. It's a Pokemon that, like, if you use it too many times, you get bored very quickly. Like, it's a Pokemon that it doesn't do many things besides, like, being a wall. So Celesteela can be a wall, can be offensive with, like, Weakness Policy Autotomize, can be a Specs or Banded set. I've seen a few times with, like, EQ being a banded set, and there's a few things, but yeah, I think Celesteela has a little bit more sets than Mandibuzz, as well as I haven't used it before, and the fact that it is a steel type, a steel flying type. Steel flying is always, like, one of the best types in the game, so I'll probably try to work around its weaknesses and build up from that. But yeah, right now we have a really good steel, a really good dragon, so we'll be looking for a decent fairy down the road here. But yeah, right now we have a good defensive Pokemon and a good offensive Pokemon. So, all right. Moving on to the next Pokemon, we have Cinderace, which Cinderace was such a good grab. 119 speed, 116 attack. I believe it was like 15 points, if I'm not mistaken. But honestly, I feel like it was worth it. And the reason why I think it was worth it is because there's not too many good fire types in the game in Galar decks. Of course, they added a few, like Moltres and Heatran and stuff. And I was gonna grab Heatran for my second pick, but it was unfortunately picked, so we were not able to grab that. So Cinderace was my next best bet, and yeah, we grabbed Cinderace because its speed tier is great, and I really didn't want to have slow Pokemon, especially in Galar decks. If you can have fast Pokemon, it's super good. So we grabbed it, and it has Court Change, which is super good. You guys will see I don't have too many hazard removers, so I'll probably be running Heavy Duty Boots Cinderace with Court Change for a decent amount of the time, or another Pokemon, which we'll talk about next. But yeah, I do like Cinderace. Cinderace is more of a physical attacker. Dragapult's usually used as a special attacker, so we do have good synergy there. And it does have a U-turn, which is pretty nice, so we could switch around with that. But yeah, I do really like Cinderace, and I haven't used it in draft before, so I'm actually really excited and really happy to use it. For our next pickup, we got Rotom. So Rotom is a Pokemon that I actually have used before. This is one of the Pokemon that I have used before, and I personally think that it was a good pickup. And some people say, yeah, you could have grabbed Rotom Wash. I don't know if it was actually the case. Let me see, actually. No. Well, if I didn't grab Cinderace or Celesteela, I could have grabbed Rotom Wash before that, but like I said, I really wanted to use Celesteela and Cinderace, because Heatran was taken. I wanted to grab a Steel and a Fire type, and those are the two best on the board, in my opinion. So yeah, I definitely wanted to grab those, but Rotom does give me a good defogger, gives me a grass type, which is always nice. So at this point, we really need a water and a fairy type to finish out our cores, if we necessarily care about that. But I really like Rotom because it can be pretty defensive, pretty offensive. Its speed tier is okay at 86. And the fact of the matter is that I could really run whatever I want on this thing, besides really physical. But other than that, like, I could really run anything with this. And it does have Pivot, which is probably the best part about Rotom, because right now we have three Pivot Pokemon, which is always nice. Pivoting into some of these threats that we will go over soon. And yes, we do have some more coming. But yeah, I thought Rotom was probably the best Rotom. Well, it was the best Rotom left. We had Heat and Wash that were gone, so I thought Mo was pretty good, solid fit for this team. So for our next Mon we got Diancie. So we drafted Diancie because it is a solid fairy type. I didn't really have a rocker, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I didn't have a rocker yet, and I really wanted to have a nice solid rocker. And because there's the stats. Because that we didn't have a solid rocker, I wanted to draft it. And it is 4 times weak to steel, but we do have a lot of Pokemon, or some really solid steel answers, being Celesteela being a steel resist. We have Cinderace that could come in on a steel move. Rotom that could come in on a steel move. So the NC definitely has some good backup here. And it's able to be physical special. It could be, the same thing like weakness policy and such. But also, it could be, it has Heal Bell, which is also really nice, because it could be like a cleric. And I thought there was one other thing I wanted to go over. Oh, it got Mystical Fire and like Play Rough, which is always some really good moves to use. And it is a Trick Room mon, so if I do want to use like some weird Trick Room Celesteela set or something, I could always do that. But yeah, Diancie. It's also here because of Torn T. Like I said, someone grabbed Torn T, which was skinny, and I wanted to have some sort of answer to it, and I thought Diancie is a pretty good answer to it. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. We have our next pick, which was Scolipede. So, again, another pretty fast Pokemon. It's 112 speed. It is really good offensively, but can be used defensively with its Poison Point ability. It can come in on like fighting types, which is really nice, and so I really like Scolipede. I've never been able to use it because it was always like tier 2, and it's super annoying to draft if it's in tier 2. But it technically is 13 points here, so I was definitely happy to grab it here because I didn't have a grounded poison or a poison in general. I didn't have a bug yet, and I wanted to have some more physical attacking power here. So this thing has SD and speed boost, so that's really cool to have. Sadly, it doesn't have U-turn, but it does have baton pass. So if I'm not using speed boost, I can always baton pass and switch out through that. I believe it has baton pass. Yeah. And yeah, it also has toxic spikes and regular spikes, so I can use that pretty effectively if I wanted to use a more sort of suicide lead set. But yeah, its speed tier really helps out. And we'll go over speed tiers after we're done looking at all the Pokemon here. But yeah, moving on here, we have Mesprit. So another good rocker. Again, I was sort of looking for another rocker with a type that I didn't have, and Uxie was gone, and I thought, and I believe Azelf was gone as well. So I thought Mesprit was perfect for this role because Mesprit was 8 points, which was a really good budget Pokemon. And if you guys, you guys already know, Mesprit is one of the best quote-unquote tier 4 Pokemon because of its incredible stats. It has around, if you look at it, like its stats look pretty similar to Celesteela's. Of course, its typing isn't the same, but it's really useful in other ways. Like I said, rocks, it has U-turn, it has Healing Wish, which is always nice. And it's got some good coverage moves as well. So yeah, I was really happy to pick up Mesprit here. It gives us another rocker, and gives us a decent threat in a few other categories. But yeah, we'll move on here. So for our next mon that we drafted, we technically didn't draft this next, but these end 4 we swapped around a lot. So I'll just go over why we have them now. But yeah, they were free agencies that we switched up here. But we drafted Umbreon. So the reason why we drafted Umbreon is because this team really likes Wish Passing. The reason why it likes Wish Passing is because a lot of these Pokemon like Dragapult, Celesteela, Rotomo to an extent, Cinderace, like all these Pokemon don't have recovery or reliable recovery. So even Diancie. So the fact is, if I'm able to Wish Pass into these Pokemon, it's going to be really hard for them to be broken. I don't have a Dark type yet, so having a really solid, bulky Dark type is really nice against stuff like Spectrier, and yeah, I really wanted a Spectrier answer, to put it bluntly. So yeah, I really like Umbreon here. And yeah, it's a really bulky Dark type. It does have Baton Pass, which is nice. Doesn't have any other pivot, but that's okay. It has Healing Wish, just like Diancie. And yeah, it's going to be basically our main support Pokemon. Alright, for our next Pokemon, we have, and this one I'm actually pretty excited about, Miltank. So, the reason why we drafted Miltank is, yeah, it's another rocker, but I really liked its abilities. So, we'll go over the next one, the ability that I want to talk about next, but Thick Fat is definitely a main one. Thick Fat will be good with Celesteela, because its only weaknesses is electric, and then one is fire, so Thick Fat will be good against that. It's going to be great with Rotom-Mow, of course, because it's a grass type. Thick Fat will help against that when I switch or double into it. It'll be good with Scolipede, because it's, weak to fire, so yeah. There's definitely some really good strats that I could be doing with Thick Fat. And then, yeah, it does have Scrappy, which, if I want to run a Choice Banded set, I'm going to be running it, alright? Look, I'm going to be running some weird sets with Miltank, I feel. I really don't want to run Standard every single week if I'm running Miltank, so I'll try to have some fun with it. Maybe a Blunder Policy Zap Cannon Miltank one week, who knows? But yeah, I'm really excited to use Miltank. I was looking for a normal type that was around base 100 speed, and since it is base 100, it is a normal type, it has great abilities, it is a rocket, like, it just filled in so many things at this point, and I was ecstatic to get it because it was 8 points, and again, it is another one of those tier 4s that are the best tier 4s. Mesprit and Miltank are probably the best quote-unquote tier 4s. If you think of tier 4s, you definitely think of Miltank and Mesprit, but yeah. Alright. Yeah, it does have reliable recovery as well, and yeah, I don't know. We'll be using it a lot, but I'm definitely excited to use Miltank here. So this next Pokemon, Quagsire. So, going back to Miltank, I was talking about Sap Sipper as the other ability, because Sap Sipper with Quagsire is going to be super fun to use. Being able to bait out some grass moves is going to be super fun, and it does have reliable recovery. Yes, it doesn't have rocks, but I have 3 other rockers, so I don't need to worry about that too much. It has Water Absorb, so it's going to be good against Dracovish, which is going to be running around in this league. And it also has Unaware, so if I see someone trying to set up on me, I just go into Quagsire, sit in front of it, and don't care. So yeah, I'm not the biggest Quagsire fan. I'm hoping that me using it will sort of make me understand what people like Quagsire. But yeah, I'm a main Seismitoad guy, and really any other water ground type, gotta be honest, but hopefully I like Quagsire a little bit more here. It's a Pokemon that it's interesting, and I never was able to really use it too well, or not outside of draft. I haven't been able to use it well, so we'll see how it goes here. So for the last Mon that we grabbed, I was thinking, we have a few breakers, but nothing too extraordinary. Like, we have Cinderace, but it's going to be running mainly a heavy-duty boots user. We have Scolipede, but yeah, we have Dragapult on the special side, but I was like, we need another breaker. So let's grab Sirfetch'd. So Sirfetch'd is yet another Mon, of course, that we haven't used before, but it has Scrappy. So if we choice ban this thing and press close combat, nothing wants to come in. With 135 base attack, this thing is going to be shredding through teams. Actually shredding through teams. And I believe it was, how much? It was 8 points. It's the same amount as Miltank and Mesprit, which is surprisingly cheap. It could have been 11 or 10 points, I could see it being, but 8 points for a freaking Sirfetch'd? I will grab it. It is another defogger, technically it is defog. Maybe I'll use it 1 week with defog, but it's mainly going to be one of our breakers here. And yeah. So for speed tiers, if we look at speed tiers, so I'll just go through them real quick. From bottom to top, Quagsire at 35, Diancie at 50, so a good 15 speed gap there. Celesteela at 61, Sirfetch'd at 65, Mesprit at 80, so a 15 speed gap there. That's okay. Rotom-Mow at 86, Miltank at 100, Scolipede at 112, Cinderace at 119, and then probably the hardest speed gap to fix, Dragapult at 142. So from 119 to 142, pretty hard to do in Galar decks. Like, I could have grabbed maybe like Aerodactyl or something, but I think this is fine. I'm pretty sure that that speed tier doesn't matter that much because of because of Galar decks. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this team. I think the only thing I could really change is I'm not the biggest fan of Quagsire, but if I wanted to have all the Pokemon that I picked up, I had to pick up I believe Quagsire's 5 points, so I had to pick up a 5-point water type, and being a water ground, I thought it was really good with Celesteela, being a steel flying, because that's my favorite combo. Steel flying plus water ground is super fun to use. Plus, we have Sap Sipper on Miltank, so again, really gonna be super fun to use, and I think this team can do some work. Its main issue is, I mean, its pivot could be better. We don't have too many pivot Pokemon, or Pokemon that really want to run pivot. Like, you got Cinderace, you got Dragapult, you got Rotomo. I mean, Diancie has Baton Pass, but I'm probably not going to be using that too much. We got Mesprit with U-Turn. We got Umbreon with Baton Pass, which can be used a few times, but a lot of these Pokemon are momentum killers, per se, so I may try to figure something out. I'm not sure if it really is going to matter in the long run, because a lot of these Pokemon just click buttons and kill Pokemon. But yeah, I'm actually really excited to use this team. With Dragapult Celesteela, there's not much that's going to really want to break it, so it's going to be really interesting. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this team in the comments. If you guys have any opinions, yeah, definitely leave them down below. But I will see you all next time. Peace.